One question we get all the time from musicians is, what's the difference between a save and a follow on Spotify?
So Spotify, when it began, was much more of a social media company. They were trying to make it a social media platform. If you were the original subscriber or user of Spotify, you may remember you could comment on artist songs, almost like SoundCloud, and they could respond. Since then, that has largely gone away. But one thing they haven't fully removed yet is followers. And it's going to be removed soon. You can see the marks on the wall coming. Followers used to be a big thing. You could follow anyone, you wouldn't save a song, and the follow button was large. But if you pay attention on mobile now, it takes multiple steps to get to a follow. People just don't follow artists as Spotify thought they would at the beginning. Instead, Spotify made it very easy now to save a song. A few years ago, it was a few steps to save a song. You had to hit the plus mark, you had to pick the playlist, you had to say where you wanted to save it. Recently, they changed it to the big heart on everyone's screen. You can save a song from your Apple CarPlay or from the main screen on your phone with one click. Spotify has really moved away from the follow function that they thought people would use. What they've learned is people don't want to follow an artist. They want to save the music and access it quickly. They don't care about following an artist and receiving an email. People don't use email. It's not working the way they intended it to back in 2010 when they launched. It's really moved away from that. If you think about your own listening habits, how often do you follow someone yourself? The majority of people save a song if they like it, but it takes a while to become a fan and follow them. For example, I'm a big fan of Big Sean. I don't follow Big Sean, but I do save a lot of his tracks. I don't want everything he releases on my saved music. There's no need. I don't need an email every time he releases a song. I let Spotify tell me in Release Radar or on Rap Caviar. So if you think about your own listening habits, think about how long it takes you to save a song and when do you actually follow anyone.
Yeah. And as an artist, it's not a bad thing to have people following you, of course not, but it wouldn't be the metric that I use to measure if I'm being successful or not. We think that saves are much more important than follows because it actually reflects people interacting, listening to, and saving your music. Whereas if it's a follow, maybe some of your friends want to show you support and they hit follow, but they don't actually listen to any of your music. Saves are much more important compared to follows because it reflects actual listening, and at the end of the day, Spotify is collecting so much data, it knows who you follow. So it doesn't need to send you a newsletter. It knows who your favorite artists are. You don't necessarily need to tell it. So a good ratio to use to measure your success as an artist is a save ratio.
A save ratio is the number of saves compared to the number of listeners on a song, not on your total monthly listeners, and you also don't want to compare your number of listeners to streams, because you want more streams. If someone listens to a song 10 times, that would hurt that ratio. But if you've had 1,000 listeners on a song and 20 of them saved it, that is a great ratio. That is telling you 2% of everyone who listens to that music loves it enough to save it. And if they've saved your song, that will be on their phone likely forever. And they will always come across that song over time, making you money forever.
And a save rate of 1 to 3% is what Spotify reports as being average for when a brand new listener finds your music. Typically, when you first release a song, if you have a large fan base or not, your save ratio is likely going to be higher because the people who are checking it out immediately already know you, already know generally what to expect, and are probably a fan of you already. So of course they're gonna be saving the music from you more often than someone who hears that song or hears of you for the very first time. So at the very, very beginning, a 1 to 3% save rate is actually good. And the name of the game is getting Spotify to find people who are similar to the ones who are saving your music for you. When you get a song on Discover Weekly or Release Radar, Daily Mix, something like that, Spotify is only targeting listeners who fit a sweet spot of those who are saving your music. It's not casting a super wide net trying to guess. It's only going after the folks who are showing that they really like you. So when you get on Discover Weekly, after it learns who your target audience is, your save rate will go way up because it's targeting specific people. Even if Discover Weekly only puts you on 500 playlists at the beginning, you'll probably get something like 270 saves or something like that because it's not a super wide net. It's people who have been targeted based on your listeners' habits with you and a lookalike audience to them.
A big reason people always mention to us they want followers is because they've read an article that says if they follow you, your song will automatically be put in their release radar. Now, partly this could be true, but theoretically, say they follow 300 people and 50 of them release a new song in the same week. The release radar playlists have 30 spots. How are 50 songs going to fit in 30 spots guaranteed? It just isn't going to happen. So in theory, it makes sense, but if they're following you just to be nice and you're in their release radar, that doesn't help you at all. You want to be in release radar of people who have never heard you before. People who are fans of you will know your music has come out. You want Release Radar and Discover Weekly to be tools to grow your music, not to get your music in front of the same people who are already listening.
To learn more about this, we have plenty of articles on our blog. Check out other videos on our YouTube channel, or perhaps look into the Spotify Outreach Program and get a consultation with us, and we can go over with you your unique data and help you build a specific marketing plan tailored around you and your audience.